Hey brothers, I hope your week is starting off great. This is a quick recap of what we discussed yesterday during our time together. If you weren't there, please watch this video all the way to the end. If you were there, please watch it as well as a reminder of what we covered. We came together and we went through our recap questions. We had guys break up and discuss those questions. Then we came back together and looked at our leadership devotion, which was Joshua 5, 1 through 9. It's when the nation of Israel was circumcised before they went into the promised land. We're reminded that in our weakness, God prepares us to experience his strength. And also some other guys had great insights as well. Out of this devotional, I shared with all of the guys that during this time in the life of a group, it's easy for guys to start falling off or slowly fading into the background. My encouragement is that we step in all that much more. As a result, I let everybody know that I'm going to be modeling vulnerability and transparency and weakness for all of you guys. I will be sending out a text message through this platform consistently over the coming weeks with my discipleship journey of what God is teaching me. I can't expect you guys to go deep if I'm not willing to go deep myself. As a result, please understand, I'm just trying to be as transparent with you guys as possible. I'm not looking to have the Jesus answer, have it all figured out. I'm modeling for you what it means to try to follow after Christ. Understanding I'm not going to do it perfect, and the way I do things is going to be different than the way you do things. But the idea is, if we're going to go deep as a group, I understand that it needs to start with me. And then as a result, let's go deeper in our units as well. So that's one thing that's coming up. Next, we talked about our commitments. Then finally, we got into our topics for the week. We talked about our mental health, physical health, emotional health, relational health, and spiritual health. We gave some resources in each one of these areas. After that, we had guys stand up that acknowledged, hey, this area is a strength for me. Then they were able to drop some nuggets of wisdom of why this was an area of strength for them and how they came to that area. I can't tell you how many great insights were dropped literally by the guys in the group who had strength in different areas. The best part was there wasn't one guy that stood up in every area saying, I've got it all figured out. No, we all had areas of strength and also areas of growth, which is the heart of the group, which is the heart of this group. We want to simply be walking and growing together in our strengths and also in the areas where we are lacking. So we had a great time looking at those areas, understanding if our resources that we have are in a healthy spot, we're going to start seeing healthy results in our life as well. The last thing that we looked at was our preparation for next week. We're getting into the second phase of our 4R model. If you remember, it's resources, routines, relationships, and results. I had to remember it myself. We have looked at resources. We looked at finances and then physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, and relational. Now we're going into our routines. What do we consistently do day in and day out? As a result, I encouraged all of the guys to track their time over any given day. You can pick a day, pick an average day, probably not a weekend, but any time Monday through Friday. Track an entire day of what you're doing with your time. You can do hour segments or you can do all the way down to 15-minute segments. The point is track an entire day from when you wake up to when you fall asleep and write down what you're doing. Not only track your time, I'm encouraging you, track your thoughts. What's consuming your mind during that day or during that time frame? If you get clarity around even what you're thinking, you'll have a better understanding of why you're getting the results that you are getting. So go ahead, track your time any given day. Once you track your time, there's a couple questions I asked everybody to consider as we prepare for next week. It's what themes did you notice during the day? What surprised you? What encouraged you? And what motivated you? Next week, we're going to dive into our routines. Bring the sheet with you along with your insights that you gain. We're just tracking one day, but I think it can be a great window into helping us understand how we can see better results in our life depending on the routines that we already have established. So I'm looking forward to continuing to walk with every single one of you guys as we continue to move ahead. My encouragement for all of us, let's go deeper. Let's go deeper in our journey with Jesus, and let's go deeper in our relationship with each other, specifically within our units. If you've been maybe playing a little bit on the surface, I'm going to ask that you take it down maybe about a foot or another 6 inches and let people know a little bit more of what God's teaching you and what's going on in your life. Understanding none of us have this figured out, but we are all working and walking together to follow Jesus. Never forget, you guys are loved. Appreciate you. Thanks for walking with me. I look forward to seeing you again next Sunday as we continue our Follow to Lead group that I can't believe God has brought us together, and he's doing some great things. So I look forward to seeing you then. Have a great week, guys. And I will be posting text messages about my journey in the thread to encourage you guys in your journey as well. Make sure you're diving into your units. Talk to you later.